So over the past couple of weeks or so, this thought keeps coming into my head, and I've been thinking about how, in a sense, there's a little bit of me that wants someone to do things for me so that I don't have to do them. And then the next thing is, if someone does it for me, they can do a better job than I can because I'll mess it up and fail. So the next thing on from that is that I don't want to fail. And so if somebody does it for me, then I don't have to fail. So the way in which this kind of affects, or I feel like this affects my life, is that I'm constantly, one, waiting for somebody to do it for me so I don't have to fail, because to me that's like, oh, that's the worst thing in the world. And then, the next thing is that I don't feel capable of doing things properly. And so this can lead to like procrastination and a lot of different things. And like I said before, a lack of trust in my own capability to do things. And of course, the way in which you build trust in doing things for yourself is to do them and to make the mistakes, and then to prove to yourself that you can actually problem solve or be a calm head in those situations and work your way towards a solution. So I've proved that I can do those things on more than one occasion, but this issue still persists, right? And this old negative patterning still persists. And this is frustrating to me because I'm like, well, and also there's an element of I need assistance to do this, and there's a frustration of not being able to. So I start something, I do something, and then there's a frustration of not being able to keep that up, not being able to, or feeling like I'm not able to keep that up. So in the past couple of weeks, I don't know if I told you this, guys, but I've been doing coach. I've been paying for coaching recently, and so I'm in a sort of reflective 2 weeks at the moment, and I'm not having any. I didn't have any coaching last week. I'm also on holiday, so there's a number of different things. There's the sense that obviously I'm not having my coaching meetings each week for this 2 weeks, and also that I'm not working this week because I'm on holiday. So there's two systems there that usually keep me in sync, like a routine. So it's like there's a sense of need for those there as well. And that kind of plays into what I'm talking about now, because the work, in a sense, although I go to work and then I have to make sure I'm up in time, I have to make sure that I do certain things at work. Those are set out protocols, and they're not protocols, but they're things that are set out for me. I get told what to do at work. I know what's required of me at work, in a sense. And in a sense, there's a part of me that treats everything in my life like, I need to know what to do. Tell me what to do so I can do it, so I can feel like I have some sort of purpose. So there's not really any sort of, there is an autonomy at work, but there's not really an autonomy, if that makes sense. So yeah, this is kind of strange for me, but it's always been a problem. And what I'm wanting with what I'm doing is to gain some autonomy. And then there's the other extreme of that, is wanting that structure, wanting something concrete, wanting not to fail, wanting to be told what to do so I don't get it wrong. And then at the other extreme, there's I want to do things on my own. and I don't want any assistance, and I want to be able to do those things successfully. So there's a sense of martyrism there. So there's a lot of different. It's that sense of not knowing where I'm going that really kind of, it really gets to me. And at the moment, I feel like I'm floating. There's a little bit of me that feels like I'm floating, and in a sense, I feel like I can't cope with that. So yeah, so yeah, and like I'm sort of constantly firefighting to stay on top of things, but I don't know. I don't. It's like in a sense I don't know what I'm trying to stay on top of, or I kind of do, but that there's patterns in me that want to stay the same and want to stay lost, so that I have something to identify with on that side of things. It's really That's really interesting to me, because it's like trying to bat at a new pathway, and then there's wanting to go in the old pathway because I know, simply because I know what I get there, even though it's not serving me, and even though that's frustrating. It's like it's easy, sometimes it's easier to go along that path rather than pat a new pathway. And there's a sense of not knowing what that pathway is at the moment, so I'm sort of faltering, and it's affecting my life in that sense.